if there was ever a ribbon-cutting ceremony for the Texas marching band season, August 1st is the day that it would go down. And I am beyond pumped and jazzed, and I hope you are too, wherever you are listening, for the 8th time in 2019, I think. Good morning again, Daniel Valdez again. It is a pleasure to talk to you again. Happy Drill Day, happy Texas Marching Band Day, whatever you want to call it. The season officially begins now. Hopefully you're listening on August 1st, and if you're not, well then, I don't know, jump in a hot tub time machine or something. Good to talk to you again. Thank you so much for listening. For anybody who's listening on the YouTube page, or anybody who's on the Apple Podcast app, listening to this as they're, studying drill or driving around getting breakfast tacos, because that's exactly what I'm doing right now. No, I'm kidding. I don't do that. So thanks so much for listening. We'll talk a little bit about summer band, a little bit about not necessarily just rule changes, but some little reminders about how summer band works and timelines and all sorts of stuff, and then I'll get out of your way, and then we'll talk about something else in a couple of days. A couple of housekeeping things first. Congratulations to everybody who did clinics and everybody who was at the Texas Bandmasters Association convention here in San Antonio last week. Team EA honor band results were released. Congratulations to everybody who participated in that event. Everybody who's the honor band, Cockrell Middle School out of McKinney, Cockrell Middle School in McKinney. Yeah, I almost said high school. Roma Middle School out in the Roma area. Congratulations to those kiddos. 3A contest went to Mineola High School, and the 5A state honor band for Team EA is Lopez High School. They were the 6A honor band a couple of years ago, and then they moved down to 5A, and now they won that. They're pretty good. When it comes to sitting down and playing music, nobody's better than Lopez. Very proud of them. Congratulations to everybody. Now, along those lines, I owe everybody who is listening, I owe you a silly bit, and I'll go ahead and quickly, I'll quickly explain it. When I was at TBA last week, I noticed that our Facebook page, TexasBands.com, has a great big giant Facebook page where we basically post most of our news and scores and stuff like that. I noticed that we were at 4,955 page likes. So that's 4,955 individual people that have liked the TexasBands.com Facebook page. And if you're a kiddo, it's probably your parents or grandparents that did that for us. And we're very appreciative of that. It's awesome. But I was like, I want to do something silly for 5,000. If we hit 5,000. I was thinking, we're not going to hit 5,000 until like the middle of the season. I've got plenty of time to worry about this. So I posted this on my Instagram page at Danpodcast. And I told a couple of my friends, I did not post any of this to the Facebook page. We didn't post anything to the Facebook page. So I was like, hey, I'll hit myself with a pie. And you get to vote on the pie, kind of pie it is. I'll hit myself with a pie and take a video of it, and everybody will laugh at me. At 5,000 Facebook likes. Then the TMEA results started coming out, so we started taking photos of the board and started posting those things, and those things started getting shared 100 times, and then within an hour, we surpassed the goal. It's like, oops, I wasn't expecting that, but here we are. So I owe you all, I owe myself and the public a pie in the face at some point, and people have voted on it, and it's going to be a cherry pie. Why? Because cherries suck. And if you don't know what that means, you'll know in probably a month or so. So I got to do that. I'm still trying to figure out a way if I'm going to do it, if I'm going to get people involved, or if I'm just going to like do it myself and, whatever. I don't know. We'll figure something else out. Stay tuned for that. I'll tease it, and then everybody can laugh at me. Now that you already don't do that. So, summer marching band not contest. I guess you could say it's a contest every day against the will and the spirit and the mind and the body and the soul, if you want to get philosophical with it. It's early. Leave me alone. Summer marching band. August 1st. Why is this such a big deal? August 1st is the first day, mandated by UIL, that you get to learn drill for your contest show. Before then, all during summer, you can only work on music. So I'll kind of break down the little timelines about restrictions, about music and stuff like that. Basically, from the time school ends until the time school begins, you can practice your music as much as you want. You can have as many music rehearsals as you want. It's basically unlimited. That goes for the drum line, that goes for the brass and wind section of the marching band. Color guard's the one exception. You can start holding choreography rehearsals and stuff like that for the color guard. Since they don't actually play music, they're actually performing and interpreting music. It's a little bit different, so they fall under the music category. They can start learning choreography and whatnot as early as they want. However, you cannot learn any drill until August 1st. You can't chart any drill, and that goes for everybody. Guard, percussion, brass, winds, everybody. And then you're probably wondering, oh, that's why percussion guys get together, guys and girls get together a little bit earlier. Well, yeah, because that section needs to be really in sync with each other. So, yeah, they're going to start rehearsals a little bit earlier than the brass and winds. That's why guard camps happen a little bit earlier than the brass and winds, and then the brass and winds come in and whatnot. And then you do your thing. Great. August 1st hits around, and you can music drill unlimited. Do as many hours as you want. You want to do 40 hours during the week? Great. You want to do 60 hours during the week? Great. That's why these hours vary, but from program to program. Depends on the director, depends on what they want to accomplish with that sort of stuff. They can do all that stuff. From August 1st until the 4th week of August is UIL rule. August 1st until the 4th week of August, which is technically when you're supposed to start school. Unlimited practice time. You can do visual, drill, music, as much as you want. But once school starts, you're basically under the 8-hour rule. And there is an exception to that because we have the whole, the TEA gave out, the whole District of Innovation thing. It allows districts that are in good standing to kind of play around with the time they start school, like the day they start school, in an effort to keep their semester days as even as possible. So, if you start school before August 1st, if you start school, I hope you don't start school before August 1st. If you start school before the 4th week of August, you have to follow the 8-hour rule, sort of. The way that works, you start school before the 4th week of August. During the academic week, that's basically Monday through Friday, you can't do any more than 8 hours. Now, if you want to do a 12-hour rehearsal on a Saturday, you can do that. It is allowed. And that's a rule that I believe went into effect last year. It's the same rule this year. And that's basically how it is. So the 4th week of August, you're basically on the 8-hour rule. And then you do get that little bit of leeway because the next week, the Tuesday after Labor Day, it is 8 hours a week, no exceptions whatsoever. Cool? And all that stuff can be found on the UIL website. It's a very, very good resource. That's where I get my information. Yes, I do research this stuff, but I never have this stuff in front of me because I'm trying to prove that I'm not old. Anyways, that's your 8-hour rules thing for Summer Marching Band. Something very new this year. Very new this year, and congratulations to the UIL for making this happen. Physicals are now required for every marching band student. Every marching band student. Awesome. Congratulations to the UIL for making that happen. It's been a long time coming, and it's just further validation that, yes, this is a physical activity. Yes, kids get injured. Yes, your heart rate does go up, and it needs to, we got to protect the kiddos. So let's get those physical examinations in. Something very new this year. Basically, you got to go to a doctor or urgent care or wherever and get a physical, like your annual physical thing. You got to have it signed off by a doctor, and then you got to send it off to your band. They keep those on file at the district, so that way if something happens or anything like that, they've got it on file. Every marching band member has to have that stuff in. I believe it has to be in by today, August 1st. So I know directors are working through that bit of paperwork. The way the physical examinations work is everybody's got to do it this year. Everybody has to do it this year. And then I think year 1 and year 3 have to do it. So here's how this works. Let's say you're a sophomore this year. You got to do one this year. And then year 3, your junior year, is the following year. You got to do another one. So essentially you have to do 2. You kind of have to do 2 in your marching band career. That's essentially the general rule. Something that gets forgotten is that every year that you participate in marching band, a medical history form has to be signed by you and the parent, and you have to keep that in file with the district. So every year you got to provide a medical history form, but year 1 and year 3 you have to do you've got to do a physical. And I saw a lot of this going on, and it made me real happy. Physical examinations, guess what? Some programs turn that into a fundraiser. Remember we talked about fundraising the other month or whatever? Come on in, $20, raising money for the band. And, there's always connections with band programs. These band programs are so big that there's always connections with doctors and physicians and whatnot, and they're always willing to volunteer the time to make sure that the kiddos are taken care of. Awesome, right? So physicals, you got the 8-hour stuff. Beautiful stuff. Whew. Okay, summer band. Pretty hot out there. I'll share with you a quick story about my summer band experience. And I want to say that this happened the first day, my freshman year of summer band. This is past freshman camp and all that stuff. I remember it was early in the morning, got dropped off, had my water jug, had my lunch, had, my saxophone that was, being held together with duct tape. And I was walking up to the band hall. And I was walking by our little practice pad. Everybody calls it a pad, a lot, or a parking lot. We had a parking lot where only band people could park. And I was walking by, and I saw a bunch of upperclassmen kind of gathered around, like, on the 50-yard line, like where the pit would set up. So it's kind of off the field, sort of. And they were looking pretty angry. And I was like, ooh, this is going to be interesting. And, of course, me not knowing what I was doing, I was like, yeah, I'll go over there, see what's up. This is true. Everything I'm telling you right now is true. I walked up, and I looked at the ground, and a school in our district, and I'm not going to say who, a school in our district stenciled their logo on our practice lot. It wasn't on the field, per se. Like I said, it was like where you would set up a marimba. They stenciled their logo there. The upperclassmen looked at that thing as if it was a declaration of war. They were upset, rightfully so. I mean, that's your sanctuary right there. I mean, you see, kiddos, back in my day, we used to vandalize other people's property and not talk trash on the internet. No. I don't think we did any retaliation, but it was definitely one of those things that was like, okay, we're motivated now. And again, I'm not going to say who it was, because that's a moot point. It happened many, many years ago. Gosh, it was almost 20 years ago. That was 20 years ago. Crap, I'm old. So, that leads me kind of into this next point. Bit of a disclaimer, bit of a warning, or whatever. Kiddos, I'm sure you are very, very excited about your marching show. You're looking at you got fitted for your new uniforms. You're looking at the drill. Maybe you're switching over to a new drill app or a new way to do drill. You got a new director coming in. You've got your music in hand, and it's all starting to really come together. You know the show title. You know what the plans are, and you're getting excited. You're pumped. You're excited. I love that stuff. That's awesome. Enthusiasm is always good, no matter what, especially when you're working on a new project. That momentum could carry you for months and months and months. However, bit of a disclaimer, bit of a warning, don't forget to do the work. It happens every single year. Kids get really hyped about their programs. They're bouncing off the walls, they're ready to go, but they forget to do the work. You've got to put in the individual time to make sure that your performance, your personal performance, is at its best. It's all part of a puzzle. You got to have your stuff together. So don't forget to do that. I understand you're excited. You want to jump on the internet and shout to the world how, you know, you're going to take the world by storm and you're going to shock the world and you're going to, you know, going to prove people wrong. That's awesome. I have no problem with bulletin board material. You do your thing. You post your quotes. You post your motivational messages. You do whatever you need to do to get up for the marching show this year. Do whatever you need to do. I have no problem at all. But you've got to put in the work. The quotes, the motivational speeches are meaningless. Getting a little real with you. The motivational quotes, the words are meaningless unless you put in the work to back it up. It happens every year. I get messages every year about, we're going to take over the world, we're going to shock the world, just you wait. And then maybe their success is not as great as they thought it was going to be. And I keep saying this over and over and over again. The times I felt most alive on the field, the times I cherished the most, the times that I shed tears and hugged people in the band that I never met before, those came after performances where we weren't even close to winning. That is the honest truth. Because it was just about us, it was just about the performance, it was just about those 12 minutes we had on the field. Or 11 minutes, or however long our shows were. We had pretty long shows back then. So remember to put in the work. Remember to get after it. It's going to be hot out there. It's going to be, and you know, parents, when they come home, they're going to be drained, especially the younger ones. They're going to be drained physically. They're going to be drained emotionally. They're going to be drained mentally. There's a lot of information to process because they're trying to get as much done during the summer band period as much as possible. Because once school starts, that's a completely different animal. And I can't wait to talk about that in a couple of weeks. When they come home, cut them a little slack. They're going to be really, really tired. Especially the freshmen that have absolutely no idea what this thing is. I know I was exhausted. I was like, oh my God. And plus, I was an oboe player trying to figure out how to play a saxophone. Yeah, the fingerings were about the same, but I'm like, how do you hold this thing? Am I holding it correctly? What do you mean I need a neck strap? Yeah, I was one of those kids. Just keep in mind how hard they're working and motivate them and motivate them. Motivate them. Keep them. You got to keep them true, because I can't even begin to tell you how many talented musicians there were my freshman year that didn't continue after the marching band. Because they were just, either they didn't like it anymore, or they were burnt out, it just wasn't for them. Everybody thinks that retention only happens from middle school to high school. No, no, no. It also happens from freshman to sophomore year, especially if your marching band, if your school is really intense with marching band. Especially if your school is really intense with marching band. Because it's a lot of work. It's like, okay, think about it as a freshman. Okay, Mr. or Mrs. Freshman, come on in. You're going to be playing literature way harder than you played in middle school. You're going to be outside. You're going to be wearing a uniform. Oh, and by the way, you have to be running around the field playing that really difficult literature. You're like, what? I just need to know where the bathroom is. So parents, keep that in mind when your kiddos come home and they're a little bit tired and they seem a little bit down. You know, keep them motivated. Encourage them. Trust me, it helps. Trust me, it helps. Summer band, oh my goodness. Everybody's freaking out right now because they got their drill and they're, oh my God, we're going to make this set. What does this set look like? And let's put the music to it. Everybody's off and running. It's what I love about August 1st, because every single marching band in the state of Texas is doing the exact same thing right now. Doesn't matter who wrote your drill. Doesn't matter if you're core military style. Doesn't matter if you're show style. It doesn't matter who you are or where you're from. In this great state of Texas, everybody's doing the exact same thing right now, and it is so awesome. It is so awesome, and trust me, you feel that on the field. You absolutely feel that when you're on the field on August 1st. There's just a little bit more energy out there. The vibe is a little bit different, because you know there are tens of thousands of kids out there learning drill and getting ready to go to contest and show the world what they're made of. I think I am done here. So, I will check in with y'all in a couple of days. Look out for the pie video. I don't know what's going to do. I don't know if somebody's going to hit me with it. I don't know if we're going to do it myself. I'm not sure. I will take suggestions, and I'll make sure that comes up really soon. I will talk to you all in a few days. It's summer. It's banned in Texas. There's nothing better than it. Take care of yourselves. Make sure you stay healthy and stay motivated, but put in the work. Thank you all so much for listening. Take care. Adios. Bye-bye.